And let's let the sound of this next bell take us to the deepest place within us. And let's stand for our first couple of songs.
Testing. We will reverently sing reverence. Because it's the abundance of this earth that makes our life possible. 1, 2, 3. I view this world with reverence, each mountain, rock, and tree, such beauty overwhelming, as far as I can see. And when the sun lays down its red and day slips into night, in reverence I kneel down in prayer beneath celestial light. I view this world with reverence. All life force springs from me, from valley floor to mountain tops, from sea to shining sea. And when the day is ended and colors fade from sight, in reverence I do praise the Lord beneath celestial light. I view this world with reverence, no matter where I roam. Diversity, divinity, complete this sacred home. And as the moon is rising and dreams are taking flight, I gently lay my head to rest beneath celestial light, and reverently give thanks to source, so grateful for this life. Mother Earth thanks you. I choose to live an opulent life. Reverend Elizabeth, what is the seed for this month? What's the seed for the month?
Your invisible power.
Your invisible power. So this is our invisible power. We choose to live an opulent life. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't believe in a world of scarcity, where we must fight just to survive. Because abundance is more than just a word to me. I choose to live an opulent life. I choose to live
And friends, while you're on your feet, please turn to one another and offer the Namaste greeting. Namaste to our musicians. Namaste, everyone. Namaste to our tech team, Brian and Jesus in the back. Namaste to our greeters out there, BJ and Jen. Namaste, Travis. Namaste to our love streamers. We're so grateful that you've tuned in today. And as you take your seat, I would like to remind you to please silence your cell phones or any devices you have that are noisemakers. And so Grand Rising. I'm Reverend Elizabeth Rowley Hogue, and I'm the spiritual leader here, and it is my joy to welcome you to the Awakening Ways Center for Spiritual Living, where all that we ask is that you remain open to the possibility of changing your entire life by changing your mind. This service has been designed especially for you. Welcome home. We have been waiting for you. And we have an affirmation for today. I invite you to please repeat after me. I am as God created me. I am as God created me. In the life, in the love, in the glory, I am. And so it is. And now our practitioner for today, who's also a ministerial student, Susan Jones, is going to offer the opening prayer and Science of Mind reading. Thank you.
Good morning, beloveds. So every Sunday, we like to just jog your memory as to the power of prayer. When I look through this room, I already know that you know the power of prayer because I've prayed for a lot of you. And so there are several ways that you can receive prayer here at Awakening Ways. You can fill out a prayer request. We have them in your little bulletins, and we have them over at this table here. The soul support team will pray for your request for the entire week. You can send us an email at info@awakeningways.org and put prayer request in the subject line. And by the way, you can do that throughout the week. Sunday's not your only option. You can send a prayer request whenever you feel the need, okay? And then I'll be in the lobby at the end of this service for a little 3-minute miracle. And also, if you wish to do a deeper dive on some issues that maybe are getting in your way, you can meet with a practitioner or a minister and do a 1-hour session. And our information is in your bulletin. All right, so I chose from The Science of Mind, which is the textbook we use. We have one at the back there for sale. The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes, and this was on page 295. Everything originates in the one, comes from the same source, and returns to it again. As God's thought makes worlds and peoples them with living things, so our thought makes our world and peoples it with our experiences. By the activity of our thought, things come into our life, and we are limited only because we have not known the truth. We have thought that outside things controlled us, when all the time we have had that within which could have changed everything and given us freedom from bondage. And so I know that which is within is the Creator. It is Spirit. It is God, whatever you choose to call it. That energy that is within us is the divine flow, the divine wisdom, the divine love. And it is always nudging us toward our good. And if we open up our hearts and minds to it, magnificent things happen. And so I know that all of us are here today with open minds and open hearts as we receive the message that the divine has for us today. The message comes through the music. The message comes through Reverend Elizabeth as she shares her thoughts on our seat of awakening. And I know that each one of us here receives exactly what the divine wishes for us to receive today. And so with a heart filled with gratitude, I release this prayer, knowing it is so, and so it is.
This song was on a request. I'm going to need help from you guys. All our needs are met.
All our needs are met. All our needs are met. All our needs are met. All our needs are met. All our needs are met. All our needs are met.
Sing with
All
us.
our needs are met. All 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 our needs are met.
Sometimes I forget that all my needs are met, and now and then I fall asleep, thinking things that I don't believe, until I wake up in gratefulness, count it all away. I'm glad that all of my needs are met. But there were times that I recall when I couldn't see the light of day, but somehow sweet spirit made a way out of no way, and that's why I testify. No matter how dark it gets, that all our needs are met. I could not have come this far without the everlasting arms, my shelter from the cold. I'm so grateful that I know, but there were times and I thought I couldn't make it through another day, but somehow sweet spirit made a way out of no way. I saw the light, I testify. No matter how dark it gets, that all our needs are met. There were times when I thought that I couldn't make it through the day, but somehow sweet spirit made a way out of no way, and that's why I testify. No matter how dark it gets, that all of my needs are met. That all our needs are met. That all our needs are met. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
We're very privileged.
Wow. Eddie Watkins Jr., Jim Peterson in the house. Woo! Wow, that was amazing. Amazing. Oh, wow, wow, wow. I love it. So we're here in October, and the seed of awakening for the month is your invisible power. Now, and the topic for today is, what would you love? What would you love? And so your invisible power is really about the invisible laws, these spiritual laws of the universe. And we know, and we've been learning that there is love and there is law. So love points the way, and law makes the way possible. Now that means these spiritual laws that are invisible to us, but they work, and they are always at work, whether they are spiritual laws or like the law of gravity. We get up in the morning and we're able to stand. It's not like we have to pray and affirm that we're able to stand up and walk over to our light. We don't have to pray and affirm that we're going to make it to our coffee machine. Any coffee drinkers in the room? All right, yeah. We don't have to affirm any of that. It's just working, and I'll go into that a little bit later. But we're also using a book that's called Your Invisible Power, which is by Genevieve Beran, and the books haven't arrived yet, but the books are going to be a gift to all of you because I want everyone to have access to this technology, to this amazing work, right? And so this month, yeah. So be sure to come back next week to get your book. And if you're tuning in, you better come in and get your book. And so it's very cool because this month we're really diving into the works of Thomas Troward. And for those of you who don't know who Thomas Troward is, he was also known as Judge Thomas Troward. And so the judge brings in the law. And so Ernest Holmes studied like Emerson and Emma Curtis Hopkins, and they brought in love for him. And so we are constantly talking about love and this experience of love, which is a synonym for the divine. Yes? And now we're taking this and taking the other side of the coin, which is law. And so these two are married. They're not separate, two aspects of the divine, right? And so that's what we get to explore this month. And harnessing our invisible power is really about offering us an opportunity to create the quantum shift necessary to open doors to new levels of abundance in every area of your life. Every area, whatever it is. And now, friends, we're in week 4 of our Prosperity Plus 2 class. If you're in that class, will you raise your hand? Yeah, we've got, there's quite a few who aren't here today. Thank you. So there's about 18 of us, and we're having a great time and learning and really harnessing our invisible power. Now, I want to share that for the month of October, most other CSL communities around the world take the time to have this month be about abundance and prosperity, and they also are inviting their members, their community members, to take an adventure of the heart, as they call it, through a pledge campaign. Now, we haven't done that here yet, but we may do that next year. And it's nothing to be afraid of. A pledge campaign is helpful for many reasons, but this is the time of year that us and other communities, and you in your own life probably, begin to plan for next year, right? We start to look at, okay, what's happening in 2025? Some of you have already been planning for quite a while. There's quite a few of us going to Bali. Raise your hand if you're going to Bali. All right, we just learned that you're going. Raise your hand. We just found that we have 11 people, and so we are good to go. Our minister that's leading that, the company that handles the tours, yeah. And so she said, we've got 11 and we're solid to go. So that's exciting. And so anyway, back to the adventure of the heart. So people in communities are invited to think about what their intention is for giving financially for the coming year. And so whether it's $1 a week to $500 a week to whatever, yes? And so they're writing it down and setting their intention and then giving it to their spiritual community. And then the spiritual community can then take that information and work on their budget and their planning for the year, yes? So it's really cool. So there are many good reasons to have a pledge campaign. Most importantly, though, it's about individuals taking the time to bring prosperity consciousness into their awareness and beliefs about money, and really connecting with the divine and enhancing your relationship with the divine and your belief in these spiritual laws that are invisible to us, right? So how many of you have heard this? Money is the root of all evil. Some people would say that, right? But I disagree. That's not so. Making money your God could certainly cause you problems, but money is not the root of all evil. And then others might say, money doesn't grow on trees. Anyone ever heard that one? Anyone ever said that one? It's all right, yeah. And so for someone that would say that, I would respond, and so it is, and so it shall be. That's you and your belief, right? So in other words, argue for your limitations, and they're yours. I'm going to say that again. Argue for your limitations, and they're yours. What does that mean, Reverend Elizabeth? That means that if you want to make a strong case for why this stuff doesn't work, if you want to prove that it doesn't work, go ahead. But I would invite you to instead prove that it does work, Like, try this outfit on, try it on, see how you like it, and then you can discard it. It's not like you have to adopt something and then hold on to it if it doesn't work for you, if it doesn't resonate with you, you can let it go and set it on a shelf and come back later, right? But if you make a strong case for why things aren't working or what is preventing you from your good, anyone ever done that? I can't because, I won't because, or it's not in the cards or not in this lifetime or whatever it is, right? Then it will be done because that is what you are believing. And what you are believing is written in the cosmos. The universal law says, yes, my beloved. And so it is. And so it is. Some might even say, yeah, I can't do this because I don't have the money. But I would venture to guess that even if you did have the money, you wouldn't do that thing because you're looking for excuses not to do it. Maybe you're choosing to have reasons over results. And you can't have both, right? You can have reasons or results. What's it going to be? You get to decide. Reasons or results. Now, the reasons are I can't do it because, I won't do it because, or it's not going to happen because, whatever, right? So I want to share with you a story from my early days as a practitioner. And this was back in 2007. And I was so excited. My minister, who was also my roommate, just happened to be my roommate at the time, David Bruner, and he was going on this bike ride, and it was this huge bike ride, and it sounded like really hard and impossible, but it sounded like also an amazing challenge, and there was something in me that wanted to try it, really wanted to try it, right? And he was going, and he was encouraging me to also go. He's like, you could do it. And I really, really wanted to do it, but I didn't have a bike. I mean, I had a bike, a mountain bike, and it was certainly not the bike that I could see myself riding from San Francisco to Los Angeles on. It's like a heavy bike, And so it seemed like a great idea, and I fully supported him and was like, this is so cool that you're going to do this, and I knew I couldn't do it. I just wasn't going to be able to do it. And so I remember he would come over and he'd say, hey, let's go look at bikes. And I was like, well, what's the use of looking at bikes? Why am I going to go look at this bike if I can't afford it? I can't buy it. And he's, oh, come on, let's go look. And so I would go, and then we looked at some different bikes, and then we went to another shop. I think it was the Sports Basement in San Jose. And we came in, and there was the bike. And I was like, oh, that's the bike. It was carbon fiber, and it was black and red and like gray. And it was so beautiful. And that was the bike. I could definitely see myself riding from San Francisco to Los Angeles. And it was the perfect fit because I'm, you need like a 52 for my size, right? I think that 52, 53, something like that. And so it's like, wow, that's the bike. And then it was like, well, let's have fun and let's just accessorize. So there's the helmet that I need, and I'm going to need some shoes, and I'm going to need one of those little bento boxes. And oh, look, they have a red one that I can, and it's so cute because there's a red line in that bike, and I'll match. And how fun is that? And then I was trying on clothes and everything. I was excited. I was so stoked. It was like, wow, this is great. And then we went home, and then it was like, wow, that was an interesting experience, very interesting. And then a few days passed, and I'm thinking about this bike, like, I love this bike, and I'm thinking, this bike came to me now how's it gonna work out, right? And then in the mail, I open up the mail, and there's a check for, I think it was like $2,500, and it's from the spiritual community. And so they have this certain fund to help people build their dreams, right? And I was like crying, right? I'm like, ah. And so he was so ready, though, let's go get your bike, Elizabeth. And so we took off, and I got the bike. And that was really a huge lesson for me in the invisible law of cause and effect, mental equivalence, right? And this is why I'm always talking about it, because this stuff really works. It totally works. And so many of us would be driven, even I in the past was driven by this idea that I can't, the bank account says this, therefore I can't even look. But that's not the truth. The invisible laws, your invisible power, would have you think about, what would I love? And then look at it, shop for it. If you're thinking you want to go on some amazing vacation and you're really going to go, start looking at, airfare, and like pretend like you're booking the trip, and what are you going to wear, and what's the weather going to be like. Order that book from, Amazon, or go down and rent it from the library, whatever you do, and prepare. And as you prepare for it, something kicks in, and it's the universal law, right? You're like aligning with the cosmos. And so that's what we're up to, right? That's what we're really focusing on this month. Honing in and really getting clear on what we would love for ourselves and our lives. What would we love to experience? Are you with me? Yeah. And so Ernest Holmes said that if we would come back to see that life is like a mirror tending to reflect back to us images of our own thinking, then we should realize that by changing our thinking, we can change the reflections in the mirror. Do you follow that? So what we're seeing, what's happening right now in your life, is a reflection of what you've been thinking about, all right? And so we can transform what's in our life going forward based on what we're thinking about. And congratulations, because we're all here, and I'm congratulating myself too. We're all here this morning, and we're here to awaken to a greater degree, to come. We've come here to become a little bit more of who we came here to be. And Jim really gave us a lesson. Has he really, right? Wow. That voice, Jim, amazing. Woo! Right? We're always becoming more of who we came here to be. The more we let go of who we think we were supposed to be, or let go of what we think is wrong, and remember that there's nothing wrong here, that everything is happening for the highest and best good of your life, that something magnificent is actually happening, that something is unfolding in a way that it could never have unfolded before, and that you are on point and all of your needs are met. And you can do it. Yes, you can. Yes, we can. Yes? Yeah. So love points the way, and law makes the way possible. So that leads us to the topic for this week, which is, what would you love? Now, I love what Genevieve Barron observed in her book, Your Invisible Power. She says, in your effort to possess, you will discover that the thing you most need is to constantly be your best self. That's what you really need. And aren't we all forever being and becoming the best version of ourselves? So that's really what it leads to, right? And so there's this idea, and it's like the materials for this course are couched in this concept of obtaining your desires. But however, when you're in this process of getting what you really want in your life, you're really discovering, uncovering, realizing, remembering that what's happening is you're becoming more of yourself. And that's good and very good. And so there are invisible laws, my friends. Our world is governed by invisible laws. There's the law of gravity, the law of electricity, and the law of aerodynamics, just to name a few. Think about those. These laws are always at work, whether we're aware of them or not. But when we learn how they work, we can harness them to light a room or fly from New York to Paris. And the same is true for the invisible spiritual laws of the universe. When we become aware of what they are and how they work, then we can learn to live in harmony with them and begin to harness their power. And we can consciously and confidently shift the circumstances of our lives and create a life that we would love, or create even to a greater degree, a life we love, right? Because many of us are already living a life we love. And the good news is that it can get better. And the great news is that you don't have to do anything but be yourself, right? And I always remember when I think of this idea that friends would tell me way, way back in the day that, looking for a romantic partner, looking to be in relationship, I had friends that would say, just enjoy your life and the person will come. And that was the same thing as saying, be yourself. Be yourself. And everything will unfold exactly as you are seeking for it to. Now, Thomas Edison observed, I know this world is ruled by infinite laws behind it. Oh, I skipped a part. I know this world is ruled by infinite intelligence. Everything that surrounds us, everything that exists, proves that there are infinite laws behind it. There can be no denying this fact. It's mathematical in its precision. Think about that. It's mathematical in its precision. That's powerful, isn't it? If it's mathematical in its precision, that means that 1 + 1 is always 2. So these invisible laws are mathematical in their precision, right? And so we can harness them and activate them and use these laws in our lives to create whatever it is we desire. Now, this is a whole different story than being stuck in yesterday or stuck in that story about what you dislike about the circumstances and conditions you're currently in, and it has you step into a new level of creativity, a new level of imagination and power. It's like you're taking your power back to create a life that you would love to lead for yourself. And you're not just a leaf blowing in the wind, You're not a leaf blowing in the wind. You are stating your intentions and declaring how your life will be, and you're able to enjoy that to such a great degree. There can be no denying this fact. It's mathematical in its precision. So powerful. And so, friends, we hold a great deal of power in our imaginations. What you're thinking about, what you're daydreaming about, whether it's a story that you don't want to come true, or a story that you would love to come true. That's what you're creating. And so be conscious of that. And now I want to invite you, I'm going to illustrate now how powerful your imagination is. I invite you to close your eyes and just relax and imagine a beautiful sunny day, not too hot, not too cold, and you're at your house and life is amazing. And you go out to your backyard, and in your backyard you have this huge lemon tree. And the lemon tree has big, juicy, ripe lemons on it that are ready to be picked. Now you pull one of those lemons down, and oh wow, you can smell the citrusy, lemony scent. And you bring that lemon into the kitchen, and you wash that lemon off. And then you reach into the cupboard, and you pull down a cutting board, and you grab a knife. And after you've dried off that lemon, you place it on the cutting board, and you cut that lemon in half. And then you cut it in half again until you have it into quarters. And then you take a quarter of that lemon up to your mouth and you taste the lemon. Ooh! Now open your eyes. Are your mouths watering? Right? My mouth started watering as soon as I said, close your eyes and imagine a beautiful sunny day, because I knew what was coming. This is how powerful we are. This is how powerful our imaginations are. And we are called to not take that for granted. Be aware. Be aware of this power that you have to create the life that you would love. Now, it's like, wow, this is so fun because we're like scientists in the laboratory of life, yes? We get to practice this, right? And so there's a great book called The Foundation of Mysticism by Joel Goldsmith. And in our ministerial class, we were reading this book. This is one of them that we read, and there was a powerful excerpt that I read, and I wanted to share that with you. It said, if you take a plant and you place it on a table, and you have 1, 2, or 3 people sit in front of it and address it with what you might call prayer or treatment, in a few days, the plant will grow at least 4 inches beyond the normal growth of that species. Wow. They love the plant. You got to love the plant. Tell the plant that God created it, that it is a child of God, that it is fed and nourished and sustained by God, and that God loves it and wants it to be fruitful, to multiply and show forth the beauty and glory of God. And it does. Oh my goodness, it does. Soon, the plant will have many times the leaves, buds, and eventually blossoms. Now, I did this with one of our plants at home, and it totally works, right? There's 2, actually. But the one, you can really see it because it's got all these little tiny growths. And it just came up out of nowhere. And I was practicing saying that to the plant. And it was really fun because as I'm saying it, of course, I'm affirming it for my own self, right? Yeah. And so those words are fun to say. Now, those words are going to go out in the e-news this week, so you can try this at home. Remember, you're a scientist in the laboratory of your own life. Now, you can try this on your plants. You can go buy a plant and practice it and just see what happens and play with it. Now, Joel Goldsmith also observed that if you take another plant and you say negative things to it, the plant will die within like a couple days. It can't take it, right? And so this is such a great reminder for us to think about what we're saying to ourselves. What are we saying to ourselves? Are we beating ourselves up? Anybody do that ever? Yeah. Not anymore, right? And so it's a great reminder for us to turn it around and be present to that space. He also noted that in Arabia, they raise the finest horses in the world. Did you know that? There is supposed to be nothing finer than an Arabian horse. Now, what makes the Arabian horse the finest in the world is that it is the only country in the world where a man of the mosque will go to the stables every single day when a mare is in foal and reads to the mare from the Holy Quran. So he reads love, and he reads truth, and reads life. And then these horses develop into amazing beings, right? So friends, you govern your surroundings by the nature of what is taking place in your consciousness. You can make people love you very easily, and you can also make them dislike you very easily. Again, the choice is yours. What will you choose? What will you choose? Well, I know you're going to choose what you would love, right? What you would love. So, you are God's creation. God made you in its image and likeness. God planted itself in the midst of you. God gave you its mind, its life, its soul. And as you continue to repeat this and affirm this for yourself, and you can affirm this in the silence of your own mind, when you approach other people, you will begin to adopt that attitude. And you won't have to keep repeating it. It's just who you come to be. Remembering, I'm God's creation, and you are God's creation. And so there can be really no friction when you're coming from that space, yes? It's a consciousness of love and a consciousness of namaste, really, yeah? And so I also want to talk about this week having us change the way that we speak about things. And that's really going to be something we look at this month as well, which is, first of all, I want us to reconsider luck, right? Let's reconsider luck. So often when something unexpected happens and it's really good and amazing, we think of it as like, oh, I got lucky, or aren't you a lucky one? Or, oh, gee, that is so lucky. That person is so lucky. And yet, when we consider the way that the universe works and begin to recognize that this world is actually ruled by an infinite intelligence and that it is mathematical in its precision, we begin to recognize that perhaps this was not luck after all, but maybe it was the law at work. Yes, there are no accidents. So similar to that, asking yourself, what would I love? Instead of, what do I need to do? Or, what should I do about this? Or what should I do next? What's going to happen? Instead of that, open up your heart and open up your mind to infinite potentiality and unlimited possibility, and think, what would I love? What would I love? You're going to think of that this week. Something's going to happen and you're going to hear those words. What would I love? 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 Now, this reminds me of changing, my language as well around having to do something. Anybody ever say, well, I have to go to work, or I have to do my taxes, or I have to go to the doctor, or I have to. And what does that do to you when you say that? I have to. Right? That's how your whole being is. But what if instead we were to say, I get to go to the doctor. I get to go to work today. Consider the consequence or the alternative, right? If you don't get to go to work, then what? Or if you don't get to go to the doctor, right? I get to do this. I have to clean up my office. I get to clean up my office today. What are you going to do after this? You feel that shift? That is so beautiful. Friends, mindset is everything. So what would I love, and what do I get to do today? What do I get to do? And so I'm going to now invite Travis up as we prepare to close here. Yeah, and the musicians can come up too. We're just going to wrap it up. Come on up, guys. And as they do so, I'm going to ask us to do this homework. This is your homework, should you choose to accept it this week. It is to, one, look back on your life and consider what are some experiences that you may have considered as luck. What are some of the experiences you've had that you considered as lucks, and perhaps now you could see it as a different way, as the law of the universe at work? And number two is take some time daily to speak these words of love aloud to a plant and watch how it flourishes. The words are, God created you. God made you in its image and likeness. You are a child of God. You are fed and nourished and sustained by God. God loves you, and God wants you to be fruitful and to multiply and to show forth your beauty and glory and all the good that God is, and it does. And then you can speak these words to yourself. I am God's creation, or whatever word works for you. Spirit's creation, the divine creation. Spirit made me in its image and likeness. Spirit planted itself in the midst of me, and Spirit gave me its mind, its life, its soul. And I tell you that as you continue to say this, you will adopt its attitude until it's a natural way of being for you. And then replace the words, I have to, with I get to. And number 4 is to ask yourself this question every day this week. What would I love? What would I love for my health? What would I love for my relationships? What would I love for my vocation, which is what you're doing with your time and money, or time and energy? What would I love for my time and money freedom? And what would I love for my personal growth? What would I love? All right, let's take a deep breath together. Let's take another deep breath together. And join me in turning your attention inward for a moment of prayer. And as we go within, we relax into that space, which is the space that spans beyond the myriad universes. And I love closing my eyes because when I close my eyes, there's no external distraction, and I have a sense that we're in the same space together. That this space that I have turned my attention to is the same space that you have turned your attention to, which means there's only one thing happening right here and right now, and it is the divine. And I know that the divine has birthed itself into existence as each one of us, and it has come here to experience this life as individual expressions of itself as each one of us. And when I can let go and get my bloated nothingness out of the way, I can let Spirit be the driver. And with Spirit as the driver in my life, something magnificent is happening. Something powerful is happening because I have let go and let God. I have let go and let the divine. And in my letting go and allowing this presence, this source energy to do the thing that it will do through me, I am giving up my need for control, and Spirit takes the wheel. And with Spirit driving, so much good is coming forth into my life right now, and I know this is true for each one of us. And as we ask the question, what would I love? Spirit delights at this question. It's like, oh, I know what you would love. And then it begins to come forth into our life. And the question, what would I love? It's a simple question. But it is in the asking of that question that Spirit can drop the divine ideas into our consciousness. And as it does so, I know that these divine ideas are like seeds that are being planted. And then we get to speak to these seeds the words of Joel Goldsmith. You are beautiful. You are magnificent. God created the seeds. God created these plants. You are magnificent, and Spirit wants to flourish as you. And we take another backward step and continue to nurture and nourish these beautiful seeds, and then we see them manifest in our lives. God is so good, and I am so grateful. And I'm so grateful that each one of us has the power and ability to get our bloated nothingness out of the way and allow the divine circuits to pour through into our life. And it is magnificent. It is wonderful. It is so good to be alive. I am so grateful, so thankful. And I know that all is well. I know that all my needs are met. And I'm grateful to know that this is so. And so in this moment, I also call into this prayer our friends and those in North Carolina and the surrounding area who are suffering. They're having an experience of their needs not being met. There's a limitation on the water, and I know and claim for them that that is done. That yes, humanity steps in and assists. There is plenty of water for everyone. There is plenty of food for everyone. That families have found their loved ones. That people are not missing. And for those who have lost their loved ones from this horrible tragedy, may they know the comfort and peace and connection and love from the rest of humanity that we know and we love. And I'm so grateful for this. I'm so grateful. Spirit is so good in my life. And we get to see it manifest everywhere. This good, it's popping up everywhere. In my mind, all around me. It's multiplying, and it is so good, and I am so grateful as I release my prayer into the loving and creative action of the law, where I know it is done, and so it is. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, beloveds. All right.
Only love can make it rain the way the beach is kissed by the sea. Only love
All right, it's now time for our conscious giving. Will our ushers please come forward? All right, we have BJ and Jen this morning. Let's give them some love. Thank you. And for those of you tuning in online, you can go to paypal.me/awakeningways and make your donation there. If you're in the room and you forgot your checkbook or your cash, don't worry. If you have a smartphone, you can scan the QR code here on the back and make your donation that way. And so, however you gave, I invite you to take your gift and place it over your heart or your hand or your phone. And please repeat after me. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and my belief. It does great work in the world. And returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. All right.
God is my source.
God is my power.
God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need.
So if you would just join me in this acknowledgement of the divine energy of love that is in this basket, that is moving through the interweb to our bank accounts, for all the ways that the giving comes to us, whether it is our treasure, whether it is our time or our talent. We are so blessed by these gifts. And I know and affirm that every gift is multiplied and used beautifully for the highest good of this spiritual community and for our greater community. And so I just release this prayer with gratitude, and together we say, and so it is.
And now it's time for our announcements, Angel. Today is Jim Peterson. Woo! Multitasking. Great shirt.
Hi. Okay, number one, you won't want to miss Sunday, October 20th. That's 2 weeks from today, when singer-songwriter Bob Sima, have I got it right? Good. Will provide the music for our service, and then afterwards a concert, and there's going to be a potluck. So I'll be there. 2 weeks from today, $20. Now, I was going to kind of repeat what Travis said about him, but I went out and found some more information. So I got it here. This is from a review, pretty cool. He is a troubadour, a way shower, a guide, an awakener, and a musical mystic. Whoa. His music bridges daily life and soul consciousness, the eternal with the now, and through songs that take up residence in your soul. Now, I know this person was a great writer, but that's pretty cool. His music inspires people to reconnect with themselves and with each other. You got to come and see this guy. All right, you can sign up at the back table, as usual. Remember, too, every Wednesday at 8 o'clock in the morning, good time to do it, Ann Hanline has meditation and inspiration at our office. on El Camino. Now, last week we announced that Awakening Ways is going to provide a meal for Echo on the 24th of October. That's a Thursday. The menu is beef and lentil sloppy joes. I tried one of those. I think it was just lentil at the potluck. They're good. Anyway, and also salad. Now, we've had dessert too, but we've got that taken care of. So we need folks who will make the sloppy joes, and also folks who will bring a salad. And again, please see either Susan or Joy about this and sign up at the back table. We are in the process of updating our community contact directory, and we need your help. Now, even if you know that we have your information, please take a look in your handout today. There's a piece of paper in there that you can use to put all your information on, and hand that in to Joy again or Susan on your way out. We won't let you out unless you do this today. Okay, the book of the month you've already heard about. I looked this up too. It was written in 1921, and it's really something. I'm going to share what someone told me. Betty and I were talking about it last week. She brought it up. She said, I don't know if I've ever read a better book. Close to what you said? Yep, good. So this is something, and it's really nice because 50 copies have been, will be delivered probably tomorrow, and will be available at the back table next week. So come and get yours. Love offerings are accepted, and it'd be great, but they are free to whoever wants a book. That book is called Your Invisible Power, remember that, by Genevieve Berend. Okay, and as always, one more thing. The Science and Mind magazine, there's a couple of them left for $10, the September-October one. And then as always, a big shout out to all the volunteers and staff that make it all happen.
Hey, let's give Jim Peterson some more love. Woo! Yeah. All right, friends, let's circle up for our benediction and call and response. All our needs are met. All our needs are met. I'm alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. You made it out of there. Welcome back. Thank you. We're in a little smaller circle today. They're going to stay right there. You're fine right there. You're going to receive this love. It's going to be real good. All right, my friends, won't you know with me that you are never alone, that God is where you are right now and always, and all that you ever need do is turn within, and it is here you will find you are guided, sustained, directed, and inspired by a source that knows only good. Joyously let us make use of these gifts in all that we think, in all that we say, and in all that we do. Please repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my pocketbook.
Life is in my pocketbook.
Life is in my relationships. Life is everywhere.
Life is everywhere.
I think it.
I think it.
I feel it.
I feel it.
I believe it.
I believe it.
I express it.
I express it.
I accept it.
I accept it.
Just the way that it is.
Just the way it is.
And just the way that it is not.
And just the way that it is not.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
Woo!
May I be
Filled with loving kind. Wait, hold on a minute. How's it go?
We're there, right?
Yeah.